VP. Scary stuff. But Manchi's the best. And he's even at 9-2 for Pete's sakes, man.
That's really good map score too in that group.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Socke is asking in chat right now, how long until I get a default win versus Feast?
He did smile though. You gotta add that part in there.
Yeah,
man.
he did smile.
I think he's serious.
Nice. No. But just waiting for this game to get underway. My tea's going good. Your rehab is okay.
Also tea.
Oh yeah, tea, lemonade, and energy.
A couple of teas. It's tea time. There it is, tea time.
Cheers, mate.
Does that remind you of home?
Yeah. Apart from we don't drink Monster Energy's tea.
Well, you could though, maybe if you can warm it up. You want to try warm it up sometime?
No, probably not. Probably
I
kicks
don't
a
know
bit
if
of
that
a
would do
punch.
it.
Bit of a
Yeah.
bigger punch than a cup of tea does.
I don't know what that does to it.
Excuse me?
If you were to warm it up. Okay. I'm actually just kind of desperately waiting to see what happens in these groups because I feel like I keep F5ing this.
I know everyone is. I actually was reading Twitter just now, and Rich from Team Liquid tweeted 3,200 people are looking at Wikipedia or Liquipedia every minute to find out results. It is a great website, and everybody's using it. It's the easiest.
It is. Liquipedia is a
easiest.
fantastic website.
It is easiest. So you can go to wiki.teamliquid.net to have a look at it. You can find Dreamhack by searching Dreamhack on the left-hand side, and you'll eventually get to the info page where he's looking at and see the same thing he is.
Okay, so someone tweeted at me actually, if Snoop beats Fryer, SDC comes in third. Let me see if that makes sense.
All right, you work it out.
Yeah, okay, so he would drop down to 2 and 3. And then in map score, well, yeah, because SDC has an extra win.
All right, Feast has joined the game. Woo! I feel
Commentate some StarCraft.
Yeah, I feel I can get every hour. My voice is able to go a pitch higher.
That's good.
So by tomorrow, I'm going to sound like a chipmunk.
I've never commentated with a chipmunk. That'd be fun.
It will be. All right, I'm ready to go. This is a PvP. This is, of course, day 2 of the Dreamhack Eizo Open. We're very calmly, patiently working our way along here. We're on the treadmill. We're not going very fast. This is day 2. But day 3 is going to be crazy. It will be from the round of 8, the quarterfinals, into the live show from the semifinals. Look at those flags turned upside down and sideways and left and right. Look at that.
Socke Feast.
Socke Feast.
Excited about this. I like where PvP is going, and I think both these players are going to offer us a lot. Socke, fantastic PvP player, but I do know that Feast, the protege of Grubby, has a fantastic PvP, to show us as well. A little bit sad about the BYOC guys moving up into these groups. I mean, other than Snoot, Naiden at the bottom of his group, Feast still fighting, and Bishu competing with Targa for the bottom of that, 1-7 to 1-8. So it's kind of, I mean, it's done. So that group's done. Group 3's done.
Coming to the end of the groups now. Very close to the round of 12. We have one game after this, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, I'm not mistaken, am I? No, yeah, one more game after this, and then we are done with the groups.
Okay. Then we move into the
round of 12. We
Exciting.
will get to the top 12 of this tournament.
Let's have Adibisi introduce these players. Go ahead, take it away, Adibisi.
Silent introduction.
Is this just him refusing
That's
to
the
do it?
best introduction I've ever seen.
Not even like a shake or a wiggle or like
A little twirl. Give me a twirl out of BC.
a little bit of that. There's the
Flick
blue guy.
that skirt.
There's the blue guy. Where's the red? There's the red guy.
Wow.
Just kind of zeroes in on him. Look at him just ignoring us.
I reckon he isn't even listening.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. He's clicking on gateways. Look, they made gateways.
Yeah. Wow.
Scouting?
This guy's just angry. I think he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
I think he wants to be up here.
Adibisi, jeez.
I think he
got
wants
a
to be
taste
up
of
here.
it. You got a taste of it. If you give a mouse a cookie.
He's going to, like, strap me down and make me drink a fizzy drink. A cold one from the fridge. Take that, throat.
Ah, okay. I was wondering where
Get
you were
it?
going with
Yeah,
that.
get it?
Start off with the strap down and then the drinking part, and I was like, where are we going with this, Apollo?
It's like the worst thing I could drink right now is a fizzy cold drink.
Would it? That would wrap
Yeah.
your throat? How about whiskey and smoking?
No,
You
that's
do that.
perfect. Whiskey's great because it probably burns off all the mucus I have.
I can tell you've hung out with Tasteless a lot. That logic. The whiskey would burn off the mucus. Did you just say that? What do you think whiskey is?
Acid.
So we'll tell you what whiskey is? Okay.
Socke narrowly making his way into the Dreamhack Winter. This the grand finals here is 11th place out of 12 in the point system.
Yeah.
He got top 16 at the Stockholm event.
Okay.
And that was all he needed to actually get here. So getting in very, very, very close to the edge. On the other hand, of course, Feast is the open bracket winner of his group today. Group bracket 2, I think it was.
Destroying Harston in that final best of 5, 3-0.
Yep.
Both those players had a tough road, and Feast was able to capitalize on that. You can see both of them being very diligent about their gas use. One of the gases is just not being mined for Feast. And you look at that and say, well, that's a big mistake. But if you look at the probe count, you'd actually notice that it's pretty specific. It's actually mishandling it by 1 probe. But otherwise, you want to have 16 on the mineral lines and then your remaining probes on those gases. So we're seeing a lot more players kind of pay attention to that, as opposed to just stockpiling the probes on those gases, you know, 3-3, and then just whatever you have on your minerals. Stargate out for Socke, though.
And it looks like a potential expansion. No, okay, he's going to throw down gateways. So 3 gateways for Feast. He's trying to push into the Cybercore. I think he's got a probe that's escaped.
Yep.
So we're going to have a bit of pressure on here. Do you think this can fare well against Socke's Stargate and also 2 gateways on top?
Well, it's going to come down to the force fields. He's going to have 2 sentries out, although both of them should have only 1 force field. Actually, as I say, this one has 86 energy, so he skips Stalker, and this sentry's going to have 2 force fields, and that is quite a bit. He has not been chrono boosting his warp gate upgrade at all, so there's a little bit of a gap there. You can see that. But I mean, look at how patient Feast is. He's actually just going 3 gates, but then not really applying pressure at all. He's just going to go blink Stalkers.
Oh, okay then.
That being said, though, like Socke with 3 gateways here, no robo, I think he's going to be aggressive.
This probe just walked right past the Stalker, and it's going to see the natural, the lack of nexus on the natural, plants a pylon, and gets in the main. Winning.
It's always a bit awkward when that happens. It's kind of like, you know, I'm not supposed to be here, but I'll take everything I can get. It's really nice for it to see this Twilight Council doing nothing.
How does Socke react to the Twilight Council, though? That must be scary to see that when we're starting.
He's going to have to go robo eventually. He sees it upgrading at least now, and there's no fake upgrade on that. But at this point in time, he's not worried about too much. And I like what Feast is doing, by the way. If you notice, he's trying to jump up this ramp. He can't, but he's forcing additional sentries out for Socke. And if Socke messes up, this army would actually really mess him up. But there's no pylon here, actually.
He's pulled probes now. He's a little bit worried about this.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Stalker. Oh, he squeezes out.
A lot of damage. A lot more damage than necessary being endured by Socke, actually, here. There's a Zealot inside the mineral line of Feast, so Feast is going to have to warp in at home. Defends that quite easily.
That cheeky pylon on the natural. Putting in another Zealot, too.
Didn't I see a robo get built? Did that get canceled by somebody?
I don't think it was made. Oh, wait. It was initially Feast.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But then he saw the Zealot Sentry and went for Twilight, right?
Meanwhile, okay, well, it got fixed, but there were 6 probes in one of the gases for Socke, and the only reason I point that out is because that'll happen when you have to pull probes, little mistakes like that. So Feast keeping himself in this game by doing that kind of pressure and then forcing those mistakes. And now we have a little bit of an engagement going on over here, actually.
Yeah, his Phoenix is doing a pretty good job here with his Sentries and Zealots. Push Feast back for now, but Blink is done, remember. And there's a lot of Stalkers.
So all Stalkers, I mean, really weird composition by Socke. All all Zealot, all Sentry. And the Phoenix are getting, I mean, one of the 3 have gone down, and that's really nice. You'll see no more Phoenix coming out here now, in fact, even Robo. Great micro from Feast. Feast is doing a good job of doing the damage that he can. But so much of Socke's army is sentries, and their DPS is so low. In fact, they're all dead here. This is terrible.
And Feast may have just won the game right here. Socke out in the open. Feast destroys everything. And now this is the time where Socke has nothing at home.
He's just kind of dead, actually.
And
he's got Zealots going up into the main base for Feast, but Feast just warped in, so he's completely safe. And that is how the cookie crumbles. fact, focusing the robos. Immortal never
So
will be
Socke's
made.
major mistake moving out like that, if like fighting with those sentries out
Oh,
in the open?
absolutely. Sentry Zealot?
Why did he move out? Why?
I mean,
man?
with 3 gateways in the Phoenix, he wanted to be aggressive, but Sentry Zealot is so weird to try to fight against Blink Stalkers. Like, Force Field very specifically does nothing unless the Blink is on cooldown. And then Zealots against those Blink Stalkers, not the best units to fight.
Yeah, these past 2 series we've had.
There's something in the water here.
There's
Sweet.
something
It's like
in the water.
someone's drinking the wind drink, and then some other guys are drinking something else. There's...
Yeah, that was... we saw a Colossus die to a turret, almost. And we just saw...
Don't remind me. That game,
out in
man.
the open. Never mind. Of course, game 1 of a best of 3 here. There is other opportunities for Socke to come back. Did choose Stargate. Versus Blink is always going to be a little bit difficult, but he did make it a lot harder than he needed to be. But the next map is Antigua Shipyard, which is an all... it's a pretty similar... I think we're going to see both of them play very similar here.
Yeah, it's an interpretive map in the sense that you definitely edge yourself towards Blink, but Phoenix are still okay.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen more classical play from Socke. Like, being aggressive with Zealot Sentry is the unique, odd decision.
Yep.
The more traditional one is, okay, yeah, my Phoenix need to be more careful getting blinked under and destroyed, but I'm just going to Chrono Boost out Immortals and supplement it with Zealots while I take my natural at a similar time that my opponent does. And that's especially good on Daybreak if you consider the fact that it's not like he's worried about a backdoor blink into his main or getting stretched out. Really, the only advantage of those Blink Stalkers is in open field being able to negate force fields and to utilize their ability to get around faster. And Socke basically handed that to him. I just didn't understand it.
And just looking at the stats here, if Feast manages to beat Socke, he goes up to 2-2. And then if he manages to beat Sasse with a good map score as well, he can actually topple Bly in 3rd place.
That would be amazing. That'd
so
be amazing.
Feast has got a lot of work to do here. Socke playing for position.
Important position, though. Guaranteed $4,000.
Yeah, and straight to the round of 8, playing for double.
There's nobody that looks at that first round of 12 and goes, well, okay, I didn't get first in my group, but obviously I'll have an easy series in the round of 12. No. In fact, I mean, I guess he'd advance his 2nd place, right? If he doesn't win this, he'd probably be guaranteed 2nd place.
Yeah, guaranteed 2nd.
So he won't have to face a first place group winner. Or no, that's not how it works.
Well, I
That guy
say
gets-
that. I say guaranteed 2nd, but I look at it. His map score's pretty good, and I think it will be good enough to carry him to 2nd place.
He's now 7-4. Okay, it's updating on the fly here. That's great. I mean, the 3rd place, Bly is at 6-7, and then Feast is at 4-5.
Yeah.
So, well, actually, if he did, no, because Feast already has 2 losses. Oh, no. So it's Socke. So actually, Feast could dethrone Socke and take 2nd, and push down Zaki to 3rd if Feast were to win out,
Against
not dropping
Sasse.
a map.
Yeah.
He'd have to not drop a map, which is a tall order.
Well, Feast versus Sasse will be the last game on Stream 2, so definitely check that one out after.
What do we have? We have Naniwa
versus Nighten versus Red. To see
Night
if
and
Red
Red
can go through
Okay.
for 3rd place.
That'll be exciting. We're going to go ahead and introduce these players. Adabisi was not up to the task last time around. That's okay. He's still having the emotional letdown of being an observer this time around, no longer the commentator. The map is Antigua Shipyard, lower right-hand side. Our blue Protoss, it is Millennium Feast. And his opponents trailing 0-1 in the top left-hand side. Germany's alternate attack Socks. Well, that didn't make sense. Socke, not Socks.
Socke.
His name would be awesome if it was Socks, though.
All right, so Antigua Shipyard, of course, well known for its blink play. Phoenixes have been coming into fashion here. Darting in from the corners of Antigua Shipyard is a pain in the backside to deal with.
Buttocks.
The buttocks.
I like the way you say it better.
Buttocks.
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Buttocks.
Buttocks.
Buttocks. How do you say garage?
Garage.
Garage. That's my favorite. Every time Ben says that, I crack up a little bit on the inside.
Garage.
Uh,
Zebra is a good one.
Yeah, just Z in
Zebra.
general, actually. Why not just say Z? I've had these talks before. My favorite part where it always devolves is when the British guy goes, "We invented the language! Shut up, you whore!" Like, it's true.
All right, double gas taken here by Socke pretty early on, likewise for Feast. A little bit slow, but it's still coming down. Double gateway as well by Socke. I do like double gateway.
How come?
Because I think it's safer and it gives you a pivot point more so than any other build. If that makes sense.
Yes. And the pivot I think you speak of is it's safer defensively, but it also gives you the ability to be offensive if you need to.
Yes.
Oh, that probe is so specifically going to die. Oh my god, Feast, you're adorable. Look at him. He wanted that probe so dead, and the probe escapes just to get too close to the cliff line. Oh no! All right, that wasn't that exciting, but for some reason they made it that exciting. I appreciate that. You know what's funny is that little moment in time with that probe was more exciting than almost the entire Night End 4GG series.
Yeah, it really was. And it's going to make its way home. Double gateway, Twilight Council.
There it is. And this, I feel like, is where Socke is much more in his element. I've had the displeasure of playing PvP against him numerous times in tournaments. He is very good at this. Of course, one game does not decide how good you are at a matchup, but that first game, I did feel like he was doing some very strange stuff. And I'll tell you what, I wish we were like, I wish the player was 20 feet away from us so that he could come over and explain it to us. In part, just as an excuse to hear his voice. That man needs to come out with a slow jazz musical album for the Christmas season.
It is pretty smooth. Almost like my low voice at the moment. Blink is faster for Socke, but we have extra gateways coming down for Feast, so Feast will naturally take map control here. If Socke is out in the open before Blink is done, he could be in trouble against a lot of units. But on the other hand, if Feast overstays out in the middle of the map, then he's going to get out microed simply because there is a faster Blink. But only a small window, only about 30-40 seconds window.
But man, is that window painful, because you're exactly right. If one guy is blinking, the other one doesn't, it's not even close. It's leagues apart in terms of who's going to win that fight. Pylons can draw for Feast and Socke. You can see their different images here and how they'd like to go about this. The high cliff line here being taken by Socke, which allows him to warp in on the low ground, but also harder to scout that out. Feast, on the other hand, is relying on trickery. This is just a weird place to put a pylon, but he's counting on it never being seen.
Yeah, and both of these guys kind of had no idea what's going on. And I'm pretty sure, if you can correct me if I'm wrong here, I don't mind looking bad. As soon as both of them kind of know what each other's doing, it's very difficult to break each other down. Therefore, you just start building the mortals and look for an expansion, right?
Exactly. PvP is very uncomfortable. Or not, excuse me, not PvP, but Blink versus Blink is very uncomfortable because unless you get an observer in your opponent's base, you can't tell if it's like a 4-gate dedicated Blink or if the other guy went like 5 Blink Stalkers then expanded. As I say that, Socke once again walked past all those Stalkers with the probe.
Again.
Didn't you? Yeah, you pointed that out last game.
Yeah, that was the
this
same
guy's
last
got
game.
like some kind of invisible cloak for.
He's gonna put a pylon and just walk in the main again.
That's such a big deal. I mean, I got to be honest with you. Like, A, not seeing an expansion, big deal. B, scouting the main, confirming everything at the low cost of a 50 mineral probe, big deal. But then C, dropping a pylon. Guardian Shield up for Socke, that gives him a severe advantage. So look at Feast. Wisely backing away. He has the Guardian Shield now. He throws it up for himself. Socke is going to back away, but he's the one taking losses, whereas Feast was able to save his units instead of losing any.
Yeah, very, very close between these two guys. Very close in supply, as you can see, but that probe on the natural of Feast is there still.
Big deal. But I'll tell you what, they both found out they are facing Blink versus Blink. Feast is going to move around. He's going to pick off this pylon if he can, and then he's done. Oh, that Blink forward, actually.
That was pretty nice.
It was. It really was. Just very bold. But Feast sees Blink, lose the observer, so of course he can't blink in. Meanwhile, Socke is stuck on his corner of the map, so he's not in position to blink out. Both players are not adding immortals just yet. And Socke is scouting out that natural. Feast now realizing the jig is up.
Wow, look at Socke.
And his Nexus gets called out. So Socke has pylons on that side of the map. Does Socke say, you know what?
That's 400 minerals.
You know what? He just chrono boosts his gateways. He's going to go for it.
Yeah.
Oh, as I say that, son of a biscuit. No, he's just going to expand.
Why was the Chronobus in the gateways then? Doesn't
I
make
don't,
any sense,
I don't
right?
know. It doesn't. I mean, not really.
Well, he's not more. Well, those 3 zealots of Socke's actually.
Yeah.
He's got 650 minerals in the bank. He's not doing anything yet. I'm just staring at the production tab like, what are you doing? Blinks in the main.
This is big. That observer right there is going to die. Oh. Socke is going to have. I mean, he only kills a pylon, maybe a probe or 2. He doesn't even get the 4-2.
Socke's got 900 minerals in the bank. Still no decision made. Nexus or units.
Yeah.
He can do both now. Units coming down 3. That was a big waste of Chrono Boost before then.
It really was.
Very slow play by Socke there. As you can see, a big difference in terms of Nexus timing.
Picking off the 2 observers is really nice for Socke. By doing that, he has denied information to Feast. Feast does not have that probe out on the map, so he does not know if Socke is pouring this on. In fact, the Zealots kind of sell to him that he's not, that he is.
Yeah, that's true.
Excuse me. So Socke is going to show up here. Unit tab shows more Stalkers for, well, actually, they're equal. They're dead even. They're dead even in Stalkers.
Guardian Shield is covering more for Feast, though. Look at that, covers everything. And Socke only has 3 to 4 Stalkers under it.
Yeah, but there was some Zealots there for a second. Now focusing the Nexus. Oh, indecision. He went for Stalkers. I mean, why do that much damage to the Nexus if you're not going to finish it off, right?
That's
All
right.
misfire. I mean, he does get out of here with enough Stalkers that this is not over. I mean, if this was like Socke's 3 Stalkers retreating right now, then I'd be like, oh, okay, it's just over.
It's 18 versus 16. 2 difference.
Yeah.
2 in favor of Feast, of course.
And that's fine. That's fine for Socke.
And we do have the first Immortal being made now by Socke. And he's trying to get that out to fortify his natural area.
What? He just warped in 3 Stalkers outside of his base. Very curious as to why he made that choice. He's going to back away here. He's got 3 sentries inside. His natural, the sentry. What does Socke think sentries do against playing Stalkers? I'm not quite sure about this.
Well, 16 versus 14. Feast still has a 2 advantage, has a 10 supply advantage overall. 3 Stalkers backstabbing.
Immortal very strongly tips the scale in his favors.
I wonder how many probe kills these 3 Stalkers can get. If they go like 5 or 6 probe kills,
he's going to go for the Nexus.
Handsome.
Oh, he's got 5
no
Stalkers
way.
over here.
Can't. Oh, 5. Okay, 5 Stalkers makes more sense. But
Oh, this is so risky. This is so risky. These are all going to die, and Feast immediately pulls.
Oh, the Nexus.
Nexus should die.
Oh.
Yeah, it's dead. Oh my gosh, 1 health! No way! Oh, that's disgusting. Oh my god.
I was making gorilla noises to that, and
Oh my god.
didn't even go down.
You know what? We should pause and just ask Feast to finish that off. That's actually ridiculous. That's not even fair.
That's really unfortunate there for Socke, who...
In retrospect, can we severely criticize Socke's decision not to do 1 more damage at some point in time? I'm just kidding. Come on.
Well, that sucks.
Holy crap!
That sucks. And in the units lost tab is a big 1,000 resource difference because of that. It was a pretty equal game until that, and now Feast has a good advantage. He has 10 supply and more pylons down. He has the faster gases on the natural, and very shortly, most likely, we'll just want to throw down the robotics bay. Oh, as I say that, there it is. And a 3rd Nexus too. Wow, okay.
Yeah,
that brave boy.
By the way, Feast plays differently. He plays very strange. So there is that late robotics bay like you were talking about. But he's actually, well, okay, never mind. I guess it's getting a little bit more standard. The 3rd at this time is very fast, given the situation that we're in. A lot of times, Protoss players will take a 3rd much more like Socke, who is a lot behind, by the way, so don't get me wrong. I understand why he's not even in a position to think about it.
Yeah.
But the 3rd is like something you do after Colossus, at least, when both players are sure to be hanging back. If I had a Nexus on 1 health, I don't know that I'd take a 3rd. I'd be thinking he might be coming right back at me, and I should spend my money on more units.
Well, right now, the army supply is 51 for Socke, still 53 for Feast, but there are 4 Immortals, 1 at home for Socke, so it's only 3, I suppose, versus 2. A Stalker for 3. Oh, God, traded off. Oh, well. Feast got the upper hand there, 2 Stalkers versus 1.
Pylon nearby for Socke. He can warp in here, and I think he's, well, he just warped in back at home.
But Socke's adding on 2 extra gateways instead of teching up, so he's like going for it. He's got no Robo Bay.
I love this.
He's got no Forge.
He's got a Warp Prism coming down, and I'll tell you what, if there ever was a soft underbelly to what Feast is doing, I mean, look at this.
Right
200,
now.
200 in his range, 100, 100 in his +1 attack. He's building a Colossus, but a single no-range Colossus does not do that much. In fact, for its supply and cost, it might even be of detriment. I think there's a very real possibility that if Socke were to ever win this game, it's right now.
Yeah,
it's now or never, I feel.
It's a great timing. The Warp Prism going into the base with 4 Zealots, while maintaining 4 Immortals and a bunch of Stalkers with Guardian Shields outside the 3rd. The Warp Prism's going to get into the mineral line here. This is going to split the forces of Feast.
Yep.
And maybe Socke can pull this off. A great assault. It will tie the series up if he can do it.
And he needs to do it now. The army is pulling back into the natural. The War Person is actually kind of a big deal about this. It is going to go down. Meanwhile, Socke's army is pulling up here. He's got 400 minerals in unspent money here. We're going to see that in a second. Another Warping of Zealots in that main mineral line. Feast on the defense. Meanwhile, Blinking of the Stalkers. That was a weird choice by Socke. He's got the inferior number of Stalkers. They are actually reluctant to blink out here. There they go. They do retreat now.
But 2 Colossus are out. Thermal Lance is done. +1 is done. All those things we talked about Socke hitting are now depleting. So
yeah, the time's kind of come and gone now.
Yeah, so Feast now has a pretty good advantage. He stretches across the map. He takes a fight in the middle.
And the Zealots reinforcing this Colossus do so much. I mean, if you don't have your own area of effect damage against this number of Zealots, your Immortals and your Stalkers take forever to kill those. So Feast is just going to kind of give chase. In fact, even taking the toll of an Immortal here.
Socke deciding to throw all his money into killing the Nexus. It didn't work. His money into building the bigger army.
Yeah. And
killing Feast didn't work. And now he's paying the price.
That's going to be it. I mean, this better line, this better concave from Feast. Feast did a beautiful job. You had pointed out during the cast, Apollo having his units under the maximum amount of Guardian Shield numerous times. Of course, Socke, like you just said, taking the few gambles that he could to try and pick off things like the Nexus, not paying off. And unfortunately, in PvP, if you take those gambles and they don't pay off, there's a very good chance you're going to die. It's not a very forgiving matchup.
And the Colossus gets microed back and all Socke's units die. Feast stamps a 2-0. GG. G.
That'll do it.
G.
Feast continues his, he's got his life.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately for Socke, all he had to do is win it. Oh, well, that's a weird way to put it. He had to win that series to take first in that group. He's still alive. We're going to see him tomorrow. Actually, today. We're going to see him later today. And hopefully tomorrow if he wins.
Yeah.
But otherwise, Feast has a chance at that top 3 spot.
Yeah, I mean, Socke is going through his top 3 no matter what here, I think. That score puts him above Bly, who's sitting 3rd.
Yep. Okay.
If Feast beats Sasse now, Feast will knock Bly out.
Well, here's the thing. So Feast is now 2-2, and he's 6-5 in map score. Bly is 3-2 and 6-7. So I think Feast plays Bly, right?
No, Feast has already lost versus Bly, unfortunately. The last game of this group is Feast versus Sasse.
Okay. Sorry,
so if Feast beats Sasse,
yep,
he's through.
That is
and
amazing.
I don't think it matters about score either.
No,
I think it's just a 2-1 is good.
Right.
So Feast has it all now. He's made it through the open bracket, the BYOC bracket. One final game. Can he beat Sasse, who is already out of the tournament?
That would be amazing. It's all down to that. And I'll tell you what, the Bly's done. His fate is in Sasse's hands. So he's watching that series like,
yeah,
holy crap!
With a knife to
win.
Sasse's back.
#1 fan of Sasse right now. Ace or Bly, I guarantee it.
That's right. Naniwa is currently leading versus Nighten 1-0 as well on the other stream. If Naniwa wins that puts him in a great position. If he loses it, an awkward position. That's still possible to qualify depending on map score for sure.
Ooh.
But yeah.
Anyone's 1-1. Did you say it's 1-1?
Oh, I said 1-0 at the time,
oh,
so
1-1
now.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. We sort out what our next game is, and when we return, our next game will come. So we'll see you very shortly.